Ages 25 and under, listen up. Chances are excellent that you lack purpose in your life. Chances are excellent that you have zero idea of what you're doing, zero idea of how to navigate life, zero idea of how to face its challenges. Chances are excellent that you are poor, broke, you have zero idea of what to do with your life, you're depressed because when you lack purpose, by extension, you are depressed because there's nothing to do with your life. You lack excitement. There's nothing that gets you out of bed. Majority of you are so purposeless that if someone walks into your door right now and says, "Bro, let's go get gas," you will get dressed up and you will leave. What kind of a terrible life is that? Here's the life of the average person. You are born, you go to school, and if you're fortunate enough to have good guidance that will direct and correct you, then good luck because you would have avoided so many potholes along the way. But if you are not fortunate, you begin to write a terrible story that it will take you years to recover. Some years later, society calls you an adult. Sometimes you begin a very clueless journey towards life and destiny. You're done with college, you get a job, you struggle, argue, and die. What kind of a life is that? That is a mediocre existence. I want you to make up your mind that you're going to get something from this video. I want you to make up your mind that you're going to listen with intention. I want you to understand that everybody's destiny is intertwined. Think of how many people had to play a role in your life to get to where you are currently. They didn't just play that role by being supportive alone. They played that role because they got their shit together, learned from their past experience, and they're currently advising you, either supporting you financially or giving you advice, being there for you emotionally. They are doing every single thing in their power to insist that you become a better version of them and by extension of yourself. So if those people didn't put in the work, if those people had veered towards the same path as you, perhaps you would have been in a worse state than them. So everybody's destiny is intertwined. I want you listening to be selfless enough for the sake of your unborn children, for the sake of that person you're going to award a scholarship, for the sake of the people who will be depending on you, either for finances, support, and this version of you cannot appeal. This version of you cannot solve the problems of the people that God will bring to your life. So listen with rapt attention. Imagine your child and everybody you help listening to you, through you. So the first trap to avoid is hedonistic route. When you are purposeless, when you have zero idea and excitement in your life, you veer through the route of hedonism. You begin to take alcohol, go to parties, have fun, live it up 20s. What you quickly realize is when you whisper that stupid keyword, you feel something die inside you because you know you're not supposed to be here. You know you're meant for something better. When you're chanting your name and pretending like some celebrity is God with your iPhones off, you know that this is a waste of your time. You know that the only reason you are here, first, is to avoid that voice in your head. Second, is to pretend as though you are having fun. The only reason you make those screen records is to show people you are having fun. You're not actually having fun. You're just caught up in the enthusiasm of the moment. It's the same thing with charlatans. They stand on a mount back and make it seem as though entertainment is the business of the day. But the real business was selling elixirs and quack potions. So every single person in the crowd will be listening with rapt attention. And if you dare highlight some kind of mistake, you are shouted down and cheered avidly by the crowd. So you are wrapped up in the same enthusiasm as the crowd. Think of how difficult it would be to convince you that you can get a real estate for $6 individually. Hell no. But if they have a lot of people, a ton of people listening, you can be more susceptible to the news. Take for example all these seminars and these business plans they convince you to put up little suit to attend. Wear your little suit and people are giving testimonies, people are clapping. You know, there's this dopamine that you receive when you look good. When you dress well, you're in some seminar taking fucking stupid notes that have zero bearing to your destiny. It's all a scam. They just want your money. That's all it is. You've attended countless numbers of seminars. Where did that get you? Exactly. Of course, it might work for some people because based on the law of average, if you do something a number of times with enough people, a small subset would work. It's like me saying, if you spin 3 times and toss this coin, you will get a desired outcome. If I run that theory with enough people, some of them will get the desired outcome and I'll be seen as I'll be declared as a genius. But reality, I'm just taking advantage of the laws of average. Based on the law of average, it's going to work for someone. So when you see that small minority in which those gurus hype up, they make them seem, make those people through their life is the genuinity of their work, which is false. So that's way beyond the scope of this video. Back to our topic. So you choose hedonistic route. You go to parties, but as you try to silence that voice, it becomes louder. You come back from school or from a 9 to 5 job feeling shitty. You scroll for 2 hours, and when that voice comes on, you decide to have a shower with blaring music on. You sleep with earpiece on. You're trying so much to stifle this voice that's telling you you can be better. You know this is true, but you're scared to try it out. Hedonistic route is never going to get you anywhere. You know what's funny? In this generation, you would believe that because their predecessors have made the same mistake, have experienced what they are currently experiencing, and emerged victorious, drawn victory lessons from that mistake. Look, I spent 10 years of my life partying, living in top 20s, doing all this negative thing on drugs, and every single bar you could name, I was there. It's not worth it. Do not waste your time. You will think that the upcoming youth, the Gen Zs, will be discerning enough to identify the millennials' mistake and correct it. But hell no, they're making the same mistake and hoping they don't end up like them. Another definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome. That is foolish. That is false. It's only children that think that way because children act without consequences. That is how children reason. Based on Newton's thought, we understand that for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. As you sow, you shall reap. So if you keep going to those parties, and there's nothing wrong with them, but if you consistently keep going, you know the outcome. If you've not looked at my video, go to the video Decisions Decide Destiny. If I walk to the summit of this building and I jump, the consequence of that decision has already been pre-programmed. I will fall. We both know the consequence of that decision, yet I've not tried it because we've discerned from a previous experience from other people. A wise man learns from his own experience. An intelligent person learns from other people's experience. So you're intelligent in the sense that you know the outcome of that action, yet you still take hedonistic route and expect a different outcome. That is foolish. Desist from that slave programming. Desist from it. Hedonistic route is never going to get you anywhere. Which leads us to number two. If the former is not going to get you anywhere, so what are you going to do? What next? What do you do in order to get you somewhere? The first thing you have to identify is role model? Who do you look up to? Is there something? You don't necessarily have to agree with every single thing the person says, but there should be one quality you see in someone that makes you come alive. Perhaps he knows how to dress. Perhaps he knows how to speak. Perhaps there's some distinct quality that sets him apart, which you enjoy secretly. You can begin to cultivate that habit or that trait. It's in the process of the iteration that you find something, you find yourself in the process of work. Talking about the thing doesn't mean doing the thing. Telling people you're going to do it doesn't mean you did it. Writing that you're going to do it doesn't mean you do it. Paying money to get a regimen of how to do it doesn't mean you did it. Doing it means you did it. Nothing is going to substitute for hard work. Hard work is always hard work. Hard work is rewarding. As the Bible said, a diligent heart shall be made fat. You're not diligent and you wonder why you are poor. So without a reference, without a role model, there's no basis for transformation. Without a reference, transformation cannot happen. So there must be someone you look up to. Of course, it will evolve over time. But for phase one, who do you look up to? There must be some role model. And this has scriptural reference. The Bible says, follow them who through patience and perseverance has obtained the promise. So follow them while looking up unto Jesus. Follow them who through patience and faith has obtained the promise. Follow them. Start cultivating skill set. Money is not just the problem. Money is just a yardstick to measure how valuable you are to the market, because the market decides how valuable you are. You are paid in proportion to the difficulty of the problems you solve. You are paid in proportion to the difficulty of the problem you solve. The reason the guy at the corner of the grocery store is underpaid is because the problem he's solving can be solved by everyone. Of course, he's working maybe harder than you and I, but he's working hard on the wrong thing. So money doesn't necessarily equate, or hard work doesn't necessarily equate to a lot of money. It's what you work hard on. Yeah, so that's where that becomes the intersection between hard work and smart work. You must know when and how to interject the two for your benefit. So start developing skill sets that becomes distinguishing, not necessarily just for money. I say you should develop skill sets because the same way depression is a cure-all excuse, skill sets are a cure-all excuse. It's in the process of developing skill sets that you begin to drop unnecessary addictions. Say you're an entrepreneur, for instance. Now you have to work on yourself because your business grows in proportion to the kind of person you are, to the level of your transformation. What are the chances that a bike man or an Uber driver would earn $500,000 and an entrepreneur who has been working his butt off to make the lucky break of $500,000? Exactly. So start working, your business grows to the level of your transformation. Now you understand that you start getting books, you start listening to positive content. All of a sudden, there's no longer desire to go to parties. You don't have to say no. It happens subconsciously. There's no longer desire for all this addiction because you know it's weighing you down. You smoke. After smoking, you're going to get hungover and therefore not prepared for the next day. So by default, certain habits begins to die without you watching hours and hours of video on how to stop jerking off to Pornhub. Find something that replaces that habit such that it becomes inconsistent with that level of transformation. If President Trump was to walk into your restaurant or to your home as hungry and as poor as you label yourself, if he says, I'm hungry or I need $100, I guarantee you will scramble enough to find that money. Your response will not be, I don't have. Your response will be, nah, Your response will not be that, any of that. You would scramble. Even if it means taking a loan on a 200% interest, you will do it because the level of his transformation does not allow that condition to exist in his life. So this is what I call a far above mentality. It's only millionaires that have that mindset. Once you have that mindset, the laws of God justice system would insist it will raise anybody, some pump or anything to shift you out of the current level you are. So what you do is not the problem, it is who you are. Every business you're failing at, someone else is succeeding at. Everything you're performing poorly in, someone else is excelling at. The difference is not the business, the difference is the mindset. Who you are, the person behind the business. So start developing skill sets that set you apart. Money is not everything. Skill sets that are transcendent is develop your ability to network. This is the problem with politicians. They believe money is everything because that's all they have to offer. No one would respect them if they had no money. So they feel the need in order to steal as much as possible because they can't get that girl, so they have to pay for escort. They can't network, so they have to pay their way through every single room. They can't get respect from their peers without having to distribute money to buy their loyalty. So that's why they need. You don't want to end up like that. You don't want to end up fat and miserable. We as men like conquest. It's an ego thing. You do not want the girl. You want the idea. You like the idea that you can go there and take her from someone else. That's why you want the girl, not necessarily because of her. That's why when you're done, you no longer like this girl and you move on to the next one. You think you're a player or a womanizer, but the reality of it is you're just looking for excitement, but in the wrong ways. Looking for excitement in the wrong way. That's all it is. So, my dear friends, start cultivating skill sets that sets you apart. You don't want to be that guy who's fat, obese, and miserable. You don't want to be that guy. So we've touched on hedonistic route, we've touched on skill set, we've touched on how money doesn't make you important. Money only amplifies who you are. If I get out from my Mercedes, do you say if a tech guy gets out from his Mercedes with eyeglass and being geeky, tech dog. But if I get out of my Mercedes, your initial remark would be either drug dealer, fraudster, mafia boss. Exactly. So money is an amplifier. Money is only gasoline to who you are. So thinking money is a cure-all excuse for your problems is a fallacy. That's why majority of people say, "Oh, rich people are depressed." No, people who have only money are depressed, which is pertinent to these entertainers because they make their money using their body, not their mind. Not that they don't have their mind, but they've not developed faculties in their mind to become a charismatic individual or an individual of financial intelligence such that they maintain a certain lifestyle and then channel those extra income to a producing asset that compounds their wealth over time as opposed to dilute it. That's the difference between businessmen and entertainers. Of course, businessmen might be lacking in some other areas, but money does not solve all your problems. It's not a cure-all excuse. As always, my friend, it's a pleasure speaking to you. I'll see you in the next one. Write down two things, two actions you're going to take from this video. I'll see you in the next one.